My name is Charlie Haffey, and this is a quick look at the response sheet portion of the final product for the self-grading tests with Google Forms course. First things first, let's start at the end. And here I have the device that the author and a cohort, somebody else in the course, is going to be a peer, and the peer and the author are going to review this together, right? And the reviewer is going to grade the author. So I'm just going to be doing the spreadsheet here. I think that people are pretty comfortable with the forms part. So if I come over here and I'm looking at this, and what I see here is the first part is this thing called the sheet setup. So students need to import the data correctly, modify the data to one or two places, modify column width, cell contents, and cell borders. And each of those items is worth 2 points each. So the reviewer would come over here and click and award the appropriate amount of points for section 1. Right? Then we come down here and the item analysis table, which is a key. We have to generate an answer key. And then we need to calculate the number of participants taking the quiz in that class, the number of students. And then from there, we're going to calculate the percent correct. And from there, we're going to calculate the class average, which is pretty much the key to this whole thing. Then going down further, we need to have these functions. We're going to use the left function, the count A, the count if, the average, and we're going to be using absolute and relative references. I am not going to, in this short video, explain how we do it. I'm just going to explain what we're doing. Over here, I have an actual set of data from a form-based test. It's 7 classrooms in grade 5. It's a weather unit. And all we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at this one here, the first teacher, teacher alpha. And I'm not really interested in any of these bits of information over here. What I'm really interested in is the test questions and the responses. So let me go over here to the item analysis page and show you what I did. So I decided, because the questions start in cell H1 on that previous sheet, I'd start on H1 here. And what I did was did an equal sign and then went back to that previous sheet and clicked on 01 or whatever that question was and hit enter. And it brought the entire question in. Right? Then what I did is I embedded that in a left function. So equals left, and it looks at that contents of that cell. And because I put a 2 on the end of this, what it did is it looked at the first 2 characters and eliminated the rest. And now I have 01. I copied that all the way across, and I have 01 to 20. And that is very, very efficient. Then I went down to cell H2 on this sheet, equal sign, and then went back to the previous sheet, clicked on that, and that brought in the answer, period, space, and whatever that answer was. But then I embedded that into a equals left formula, and I only went with 1 character, so now all I have is the letter. And this is going to be very helpful when I get down to calculating the averages and things like that. So then coming down here, what I did was over here, I needed to calculate the count. So what I did was I used the count A function, and I highlighted all the cells that have answers in them in the first column there. And I hit return. And what count A does is it counts the cells that are not blank. So for this situation, we have a count of 20. I copied the question numbers from above, and then I had to manually enter the answer key here. That wasn't a big deal. There are ways we can get around that. It just didn't make sense for this. And here, what I did is I used the count if function. So I looked at that range, and I wanted to know how many cells had the same value as the answer key. And for question number 1, there were 17 cells out of 20. Right? Down here, what I did is I needed to calculate the percent correct. So I took this value, 17 here, and I divided that by the count, 20, and I got a value of 0.85. But the thing is that when I come over here to the next cell, if I just copy that formula, it's going to be looking up to the cell that has the number 15 in it, but also when it looks for the count, it's going to move over 1. So if you notice, I have equals H26 divided by F24, but the F has a dollar sign in front of it, and a 24 has a dollar sign in front of it, which means the reference there is absolute. It's not going to move. So I just clicked this formula here and dragged it all the way across, and all the percents came out. Over here, I just very simply calculated the average equals average, and I selected the huddle row. And in what will take hours to work through with the participants in the course, this will be a finished product that they should have. And all of these components that we looked at here are in the peer review assessment tool. This is Charlie Haffey. That was a quick look at the assessment tool.